Um, Hello all, very good evening. Thanks for joining for today's session. Today we are going to discuss the table partitioning in Azure SQL database. So why do we go for table partitioning means we have various reasons in that one of the main thing is to reduce the maintenance downtime. For example, if you want to do the cluster index, it will take like 8 hours for 1 TB. On that, if you reduce that 1 TB to something else, though obviously the maintenance window will get reduced. And one more thing is we are not using the old data, and that's the reason we need, without downtime, we need to migrate to the another non-production table database. Okay, and for that reason we used to go for table partitioning. But coming to here, how we used to do table partitioning is quite different. Quite different means it little bit different. Why? Because we have a file groups. Okay, and in on-prem SQL Server, but we don't have any file groups except we have only one file group, that is primary. Okay, and if you go here and I'm going to production DB, new query, paste it. So now what I'm doing here is I'm seeing any file groups or not. See, I am having only one file group. So if you want to create, no chance, you won't create. So right now I'm going to do the partitioning on this DB on dbo.sales.header. Okay, this thing. So as of now, how many records we are having here is, yeah, we will see that. See, 34,000. Okay, and meanwhile I will go open the Excel. Total records, how many we have? 31,454 31,465 records we are having. Okay, but I want to see how many records I am having year by wise. So I am just giving the group by for the sales.io header. So if you see here, for 2011, I'm having 160, 2012 3915, 2013 14182, 2014 11761. These many records I am having. I'm just copying here and I'm pasting. Okay, here. So if you do sum here, automatically, see this one 31,617. But as of now, what I want to do here is I want to partition. Okay, so I will do like partitioning thing, and like it will go into respective partitioning. Before going to that, I will go here. Now, if you see here, see here I am having table. Here I am having a partition function and schema, and we that schema will decide. Okay, partition function is logical. No, what is meant by logical here is we are deciding the data. 2011 data should go to this partition schema. 2012 data should go to the file group. But however, in the file group, we don't have any file groups, right? This table partitioning is related to the on-prem SQL Server. Now, if you see here, now this is the related to the this thing, Azure SQL data. Why? Because we are having only file group. We are logically making as a partitioning. Okay, one partition. But at the end of the day, they are all storing into one primary file group only. Okay. Now, yeah. So what I want to do here is I want to create a function. Okay, using we have two range functions. One is range right and range left. Okay, so what happened here is like if you let's assume that, okay, I will explain one PPT here. So I I'm having one table. Okay, if you divide the table, if you go, if you have done table partitioning with the concept of range left, then we are having in first file group 5 records, and second file group is having 5 records. If I go with the range record, range right happen, the range right. So what will happen? First file group will have 4 records, and second file group we are having second records. Okay, so for date and function, if you have go with the number, range left is right. So how can you decide? Means first whenever we decided that table partitioning will benefit our SQL to the queries, means you just go and deploy in the test environment and analyze in everything and come to one conclusion if you have any doubts in that. Okay, so as of now, if I do with that okay query, I'm having these many records as per year. Okay, now my requirement is I want to create a partitions, and I want to do that I want to divide that data into those partitions. Okay, and now see, I'm creating a function. Function I told you as a logical partitioning, mean logically schema. Okay, now I'm telling what create partition function, create sales name, what is that integer data type, as range left for values of 2011 and 2013. But what I am telling here, see, wantedly I want to show the practical. That's the reason I am telling what 2011 and 2013. It means 2012 data will also come into 2013. Okay, and up to 2011 will it can contain this data. Okay, now remaining all extra another partition. These two are one partition. These are one partition. These are total. I am having 3 partitions. Okay, so now I am creating that one partitioning. I am doing that partition function. I need to drop schema. I need to drop. Yep, yep. Now I am doing that. See, that were created. Okay, now if I want to see the functions, okay, if I will do that, I am having only one order function using range right. Okay, and now this thing is done. Now I am creating the logical partition. I need, okay, I have created logical. 2011 data should go to the one partition, 2012 13 should go one partition, 2014 data should go to the another partition. But where is the partitions? They are not. So this is the way, what the difference between on-prem and Azure SQL database. In Azure SQL database we don't have any file groups. Okay, that's the reason we are all we are partitions we are redirecting to the primary. This is scheme. Okay, now if you see here, okay, has been partitions have been created, and next file group has been in the partition scheme completed. Primary is the marked as the next file group. Okay, now what I am doing here, I am creating one table. Okay, so what is mean by that here is, now here persisted. What is mean by persisted? Means the data should be stored physically in the table, that is not persisted. But where the data where the data that is coming here is order date. What is the date? Order date is computed column. Okay, we are taking the value from the computed column and storing physically in the file. That's the reason we are calling it as a persisted, and we are telling that to the persisted as well. Okay, and if you want to create a partition key, then it all, even though it is a computed column, it should be persisted. Otherwise, if we remove that, it will be a virtual column. Okay, now I am creating one table. Click execute. That is done. Now I'm inserting the records. Okay, I have created the order table and everything, partition schema. Here I am telling that I am not just creating the table as usually what how we create table name, values and data types, and that's it. I'm recreating the table as well. Okay, whenever the data comes into this table, okay, it will go to the partition schema. See, I'm telling that party as per go per partition schema. What is that id ar or year wise? Year wise, you just go and sit in the respective partition functions. Okay, now I'm inserting data into order table from dbo.sales header. Okay, execute. So 31,000, 4,000 rows has been injected into order tables. Now we can see that orders either we have done the partition successfully or not. So it will tell that. So now if you click that, see, this is the partition ID 1, partition ID 2, partition 3. Now here we can see this is 2012 data, 2012 come 13. If you see here, this is the 2, right? Sorry. See 31,097. If you see here, see 31,097. Remaining all like 411,661, right? See, it means we have successfully partitioned the table. Now, if you see here, now I'm executing these two, the table. Okay, this is the new partitioned table. This is the data where we used to bring the data. Okay, and if I click execute, see, one, one, two, these two are this one. Okay, and this is the third one. Okay, it means we have successfully partitioned the data. Now what will happen? Now suddenly your manager came, Harsha, what you have done is right, but the client has changed its mood. You don't want to keep 2012 data and 13 data in one partition. He is asking me to divide the 2012 and 2013 as well. He is asking like that. Okay, now what for that? If you want to split the data, so what is the mixing in that? 2011, 2012, 13, right? So which is the data is 12 is missing, right? So we are splitting we are splitting the partition. Now if you select here, click execute, done, right? Now if you see here partition, see, we got for 2011 data, 2012 data, 2013 data, and 2014 data, and not 2014, and as well as whatever the next follows. Everything will comes under fourth partition. If you see here, see, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now we have successfully split the regions. Okay. Now if you want to split the range as well. Okay. So if I want to split, okay, what I told here is it will contain 2014. Apart from any above 14, it will come, right. Now if you try to split, okay, you will encounter this error. Why? Because it will allow only verse. Okay, if you want to however you want to configuring the partition, you have to be careful while configuring itself the first time itself. Otherwise you want to drop again and you have to recreate the again. It will allow only for first time. Okay, so this is the difference, but in on-prem we can do how many times we want to split that. Okay, now what will happen? We have seen the split function. Okay, we have created the partition and the split the function. Now we are creating the hard register table. Why? Because this is archive table, right? So archive table done. This is done. Okay. So now what will happen here is, okay, now I will tell you. Now what will happen? Now I will come here. Now what will happen is client came, Harsha. Right now we are in 2024. And what about 2011 data? Still we are being used in the production main table, right? So he is asking me that, okay, Asha, here I'm having 2011 data, right? The first partition. Why don't you move this data to the archive table? Okay. So now they are asking me to that. Now what I am doing that I am altering table. Okay, orders. Okay. switch partition 1. Okay, what is the partition? One thing, remember that. Okay, I am opening the paint. I am having two table. What is what here? One is here orders. Here orders history. Okay, so the same partition, the same, if you want to archive the table, the basic first rule is same partition. What is the partition schema function? It has to be using, it has to be used same. Okay, just name only different. Okay, but everything it has to be homogeneous. Okay, now what it I am telling here, I am having four partitions, right? Now partition 1, partition 2, partition 3, 3 partition function 4. Now what they are asking here is, you why don't you here I am having this here partition. Why don't you copy the partition one from main table to this table, right? So for that we have a command called order table switch partition 1 and partition 2. Okay, now if I click execute, see it was done. Now what will happen here if I do? Okay, this order table should become 0. See, this was 0. Now if I go with the history table, if I copy here, I am doing the history. See, see, we have, see, from main table to we have moved the data within fraction of seconds. Not only fraction, lightning speed. Why? Because in partition swinging, data movement is a DDL operation, not a DML operation. That is the benefit. It's just like changing the heads. Okay, so that's the reason table partitioning comes into picture. The because of this one of the main feature. If I do, for example, I'm having one core data here. If I do truncate, right? If you go delete or truncate, it will take it will go for delete. It will take main huge time. But using the table partitioning, even one core rows also doesn't problem. It will do fraction of seconds. And if I do that, now only one thing remember, you have to switch from one partition to one partition only, one two partition to two partition only. Okay, now what will happen here? If you see, now client was asking, Harsha, we have successfully removed this partition and this became resolved. Okay, well, then what is the use of keeping this row like this? One is equal to zero. Then what is the right? Why don't you merge this reason, this partition function ID? I will show you. Okay, and I'm going to take a snapshot. You just keep that here. Okay. Okay, now I want to merge 088 and 5322 into as a one partition. For that, what we can do? So we can go here and we have can merge. What I want to merge? 2011, right? So just click execute. We have done it. Now if I see here, orders table, see that got completed. Now if I see here, if I see, now if you see here carefully, 088 has been removed or merged as merged previously we don't have any resource. That's the reason we am saying calling it as delete. Now 088 has been merged into 5 double 2 double 5 2 partition. Here you can see that. So this is means we have successfully merged the partition. Now, and we have successfully created and successfully split the partition and successfully merged the partition as well. Okay, and this is the reason. Okay, so and for example, now what I am telling here is, now client was asking, Harsha, we are in 2024 and we have removed successfully 2011 data. Why we are keeping why we are keeping 2012 data as well? This partitioning, why don't you truncate? I don't want okay, I don't want to, for example, I will go this hard history table. Okay, okay, now what they are asking here is, yeah, now I'm executing the one day. Okay, now what it was 2011 to 11 data we are maintaining, but it has been like 20 years ago. We are not at all using this data. Why don't you truncate this data? You just remove that. Okay, so as for that reason we have a truncate. How we need to truncate? Here is truncate table name with partition is equal to which partition you need to truncate. That partition you have to select it. Select that and click execute. We have successfully executed where we have deleted a table order history. Now if I go here, if you go here and see, now everything will be 000. Okay, so this is how you need to use the table partitioning. Anything you, before doing anything, you just deploy in the test environment and come to conclusion, and once you based on the output do the according changes and push those changes into the production box. Yeah, this is all table partitioning. This is very simple concept, and tomorrow is the last day. Okay, and we are going to see we are going to explore the options to migrate Azure SQL database, on-prem SQL Server databases to Azure SQL. We are seeing the ways. Okay, and so based on your on-prem requirement and which you just go through and record the time, and you have to come to one conclusion which way of is good for your environment. Any doubts, Bhaskar? Hello?
Yeah, no, I'm clear on this.
Okay then. Okay then, we will meet you tomorrow, and don't, please try to join tomorrow and don't miss the class. Okay? Yep. Thank you. Have a nice day.